I'm Dr. Michael Haley with the Dr. Haley Show podcast, and I've got another email question from one of our viewers and listeners. And in this case, Richard asks, when juicing, should I leave the skins on or take them off? And this really is a great question because there's a lot of things to consider when deciding whether or not to consume the peels and skins or take them off. And I think the answer kind of applies whether you're juicing or just eating them or even cooking them. But there are things to consider because there are differences between eating and juicing and cooking. But let's step back and just kind of look at the bigger picture. Should I leave the skins on or take them off? There is obviously no simple answer to this. Lots of things to consider. But when you're juicing, we have a machine that's essentially removing pulp and skin, and it's probably not extracting the nutrients out of the skin as well as it would if you could just eat the whole thing, and it goes through your digestive system, which is pretty good at getting nutrients out of things, especially if you chew your food really good and break it down to give your microbes, your intestinal flora, your digestive enzymes something to work with that's already broken down and chewed into. So the juicer will be missing a lot of those nutrients from the skin. Unless, of course, you do what I do and you keep the pulp and you make something like pulp seed crackers. Well, now you're getting all those nutrients anyway. So, but and of course you're not supposed to eat all skins. Some are, obvious. Like for instance, it's pretty intuitive that a pineapple skin is going to be cut off or removed, and you're going to eat the pineapple on the inside. I don't know anyone that's ever tried to eat a pineapple skin. Probably not supposed to. I've seen animals eat through it to get to the meat. I've never really seen them eat the skin. If we go back in time, centuries ago, there were no juicers. We may have had, wine presses and things of that nature to get juice out of grapes or to oil from olives or, things of that nature. But there were no juicers. You just ate things. In fact, you probably went to a tree and picked something off it and ate it right off the tree, or maybe even picked it up off the ground and ate it. And it was probably covered with, like dust from the air that may include soil spore probiotics, things that are beneficial for you, that nowadays we scrub off our fruits and vegetables and have to go buy those kinds of things in capsules instead. We carry a brand on our website at HaleyNutrition.com for that reason. They seem to really help people that have their gut floras all messed up. They help get things back in balance, and people take them and they say, wow, ever since I've been taking this, things work better. Well, isn't that amazing? Because you haven't been getting those things naturally. You haven't been eating cultured or fermented foods, and you haven't been eating, things right off the ground or off the bush. I remember, years ago, my son, when he was little, would go outside and stand in front of the fig tree and look for all the ripe figs and pluck them off and just eat them right there. They would never make them into the house. Now, back in the day, mom may have went out and she probably nibbled off the tree, but also filled up a basket and brought it back to the family and, put those things on the table, and people ate. And they probably didn't wash them like we do now because, well, they didn't even have plumbing like we do now. Things weren't as accessible, and besides, isn't that what you do? You just eat things that grow? It was a different time. Nowadays, you almost have to wash things because, well, I remember being at Whole Foods, and you think, well, isn't that where you get the expensive good stuff? There was a sign on the wall that said some of our produce has waxes on it to improve the appearance. And I think what that really means is waxes to slow down the rotting process of fruits and vegetables so that they can keep them out there longer so people can buy them over time and they wouldn't have as much spoilage. I believe that's probably the reason for them. Maybe it's just the nice shiny appearance, but there's stuff on there that wasn't part of the fruit or vegetable as it grew naturally. They also spray, and I don't know if Whole Foods does this, but I know that in produce they can spray ripeners on things to get them, who wants to buy completely green bananas? Let's spray those and get them to ripen faster so they're more attractive to the people that are shopping. Then they'll take them home and have to eat them faster, of course, because they're now in this hyper ripening phase. So there's things on the fruits and vegetables. There's pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, which are going to be more prevalent on the peels or on the skins. Even organic fruits and vegetables, they have organic pesticides that they can spray on them. What's a pesticide? It's something designed to kill bugs. Herbicides, they kill weeds. Fungicides kill, microbes like funguses. And when we eat these things, we're feeding the food, the things we chew up, we're feeding that to our gut flora. Our gut flora now has to consume chemicals that are designed to essentially kill them. It doesn't make sense. So in those circumstances, it might make sense to scrub really good or even peel your fruits and vegetables. You have to decide. Hopefully you know enough about what you're getting and where they're coming from and what might be on them so you can make that intelligent decision. But in doing so, know that you're also getting rid of a lot of good nutrients. There's more nutrients in the skins and peels of a lot of fruits and vegetables. In a potato, there's a lot of vitamin C in the skins. I like making things like potato salad and leaving the skins on them. In apples, there's a lot of nutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals packed in the skin of those apples. You might be getting twice the much nutrition out of the fruit just by leaving the skin on them. And if you put them through a juicer, you might be extracting some of those nutrients. There's also a lot of fiber in the skins and in the peels that could be beneficial. Again, not all things should be consumed. I consider the aloe vera leaf as an example. The inner gel is relatively tasteless compared to the outer leaf, which is extremely bitter. If you cut into it and you just dab your finger in and bring to your lips or your tongue that yellow sap, you'll get that sour face like never before. Not that it's sour, it's just bitter, horrid, and something instinctively tells you this is not food. Now, a lot of those things that are there to protect the plant and protect what's in them from microbes or from animals and things that would destroy them, funguses that might grow on them. A lot of the things that are there to protect them can actually have anti-cancer and other medicinal properties. In the case of that sap in aloe vera, people have used it medicinally to treat constipation. They use it as a laxative. And at the same time, in high amounts, it's been proven when taken by itself, apart from the inner part of the plant, it's been demonstrated that to cause cancer in the intestines of rats, and specifically the cells that make mucus increase in size, probably because it's an irritant and they need to make more mucus to protect the intestines. And at a certain point in time, they call that adaptive change cancer. So when given the outer leaf sap, not the inner leaf gel, that's where all the nutrient, gut healing, skin healing, immune boosting benefits are in the inner part of the leaf. But the outer leaf, when given in large quantities, caused problems. So how do you know what things you should eat the skins on? Taking all that stuff into account, some plants just inherently, garlic, something tells you I should peel this and I want what's on the inside of it and I don't want to eat the skins. Onions are kind of the same way, and I already mentioned pineapples. But if we watch the animals, for instance, I've seen pigs eat whole pumpkins, skins and all. Okay, the pumpkin, the outer part, probably isn't desirable, but probably not the most enjoyable or possibly even beneficial. Who knows? If we watch the animals, we can get a clue as to whether or not those skins and peels are edible. Horses will eat the whole apple. Okay, doesn't kill them. It must be okay. And we happen to know scientifically that there's a lot of nutrients in those skins. I consider a book that was written by my friend Scott Joseph called The Chimp Diet. He observed that chimpanzees would eat the whole fruit and the whole vegetable, even things like avocados. They would eat those skins, even though if you do a search, it'll say that avocado skins are inedible. So you have to make the decision on that one. But he even created a beverage line of fruit juices called Love Plants. Plants spelled Plantz, where it's truly whole food. What do I mean truly whole food? I mean the whole food is in there with the peels and the pulp and the seeds. It's the juice with the rest of that fruit in there as well. So interesting concept. You can choose to learn from it or not. Some of the things I don't want in my juice. You know, when I juice, I tend to peel. Well, I don't peel carrots. Those I'll wash a little bit. I do peel beets, even though the beet skins are edible. It's just a personal preference. I do peel cucumbers, even though they're edible, because I don't like the bitterness, even though it might be beneficial. But you have to make the decisions on what you want to eat, and you can learn and observe from the animals like Scott Joseph did. Now, chimpanzees only have half the lifespan that we do, so I don't know if that's because they eat the skins. Who knows? That's something to consider. But you decide. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, if you have any thoughts about whether or not to eat the skins or the peels of certain fruits and vegetables. I understand that even banana peels are edible. I'm going to peel my bananas. But from what I understand, you can just grab a banana and eat the whole thing. I can already taste the skin and the fibers stuck in my teeth. No, thank you. Not for me, but it's an option. All right, I'm Dr. Haley. Thanks for checking out this video. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe.